Late yesterday, I received this envelope by Priority Mail. It's from Justin Trudeau's elections commissioner. In it was 2 letters. I have been convicted of 2 counts of breaking the law, and I've been fined a whopping $3,000 specifically for comparing Justin Trudeau to Tony Soprano and for publishing a book that compares them. It's this book, which was the #1 Amazon bestseller in Canada, The Libranos, What the Media Won't Tell You About Justin Trudeau's Corruption. They convicted me under sections 352 and 353 of the Elections Act. Check this out from the conviction letters. It's actually the largest part of their rationale. I'm guilty, they say, because, quote, the book's title reference to Libranos, which was clearly designed to create an association between the name of a registered party and The Sopranos, a mafia-themed television show, and to link the party to corruption. They also say the drawing on the cover is an illegal election activity. It's based on the original poster for the TV show The Sopranos. They say that's illegal because it's too mean. Quote, drawings of the show's characters were replaced with drawings of the leader and other public figures of the party, unquote. The police say that's against the law, so I have to pay $3,000 in fines. I know you find this hard to believe, so I've put a copy of the 2 letters online at saverebelnews.com. Go there and read them for yourself. Now, these convictions and fines came as a surprise to me because the trial was done in secret. I was not invited to the trial. I did not even know about it. I was not allowed to send a lawyer to the trial because I didn't know about it either. This is nuts. I knew they were hunting me because they interrogated me a year ago, but I really just assumed they had dropped the whole thing because it was so crazy. Remember this, before the pandemic, last year I was summoned to Elections Canada, their headquarters, and 2 30-year veterans of the RCMP, officers who used to work on terrorism cases and drug cases and money laundering, things like that. They interrogated me for an hour. Now, I knew it was a setup, so I wore a hidden camera and I turned the tables on them. Remember this? I've got a question for you. I've answered a few of your questions now. Have you investigated any of the other authors who published books about Trudeau at the exact same time as me? Have you investigated John Ivison's book or Aaron Wary's book?
There's over 24 books that were published around that period.
You haven't answered my question. Have you investigated John Ivison or Aaron Wary's books?
I haven't.
Have you?
I haven't.
Yeah. Is anyone in your office investigating any other books about Justin Trudeau or just the book that's critical of him? No.
Today we're here about Rebel News Network Limited.
Oh, I know that. And I'm just asking you to confirm
But once
that
we're
not
done,
a single other loving book of Trudeau is being investigated.
but once we're done, if you believe that there should be complaints that are...
No, because I'm not a censor like you. I'm not a bully and a censor. I'm not a bureaucrat looking to justify my budget like you. I go out and earn my living every day, fella. You call in authors to grill them about a book criticizing your boss. Think about who you are.
We call the director of Rebel News Network Limited.
Yeah, who happens to be the author of the book. I think there's going to be a chapter about you 2 fellas in the next edition. I specifically asked the cops if I could see the complaint against me, and they said no. Can I see the complaint against me?
The letter that you received?
No. I presume that you're investigating me based on a complaint, yeah.
Well, this is still part of the investigation, so we'll have to, once the investigation's been completed, the commission will have to make a decision, and at that point, he'll have to decide if that is releasable or not. It's not something that's usually is released, no.
So it's a secret complaint?
It's not a secret complaint. It's just a complaint that's part of the investigation. And to keep the integrity of the investigation right now, you'll understand that we can't share everything that we have.
I don't want everything that you had. If I'm here to meet a complaint, but you won't show me the complaint, how can I possibly meet the complaint? How can I possibly respond to something that you won't show me?
Well, though, I think the letter was quite clear on what the infraction is alleged, and this is what we want to clarify with you.
Well, did you generate the complaint, or was it from an outside party?
No, we didn't generate the complaint. The
Okay,
office
so
of the commissioner
someone-
did not generate the complaint.
So someone external to your office generated the complaint?
That is usually the case.
Is that the case in this case?
Yeah. Yeah, we did not generate the complaint.
Okay, was it the Liberal Party that generated the
We can't go
complaint?
into that, sir.
So you won't tell me who the complaint is? The complainant is, that's a secret?
Yeah, no, not at this point.
So at what point do you tell me who the
The
secret
commissioner
complaint-
is the ultimate responsible person for the investigation and how this is decided.
So how do I know what conduct has been complained about if you won't tell me? They told me that I should have registered my book with the government like they do in China.
The knowledge that you would have or not have of the Election Act, the Canada Elections Act, when you are planning the book and the new third-party rules, because I believe there's some comments on your site as well about that, did you give any consideration of saying, maybe I should register as a third party for this circumstance, or maybe I shouldn't because of my interpretation of what I'm going to do, or did you not make that determination?
Tim, I appreciate the question. Yeah, I absolutely did think about that at great length.
Do you want to share any of those thoughts?
Well, sure, some of them. I mean, I thought the day I register with the government to write a book is the day we no longer are the True North strong and free. And if Elections Canada's commissioners are stupid enough to prosecute me for writing, publishing, and promoting a book about an election during an election, then that's an important fight to have, because we need to roll back these pencil-neck bureaucrats and their blackface boss, and we need to remind them that we're still a free country. So I thought about it long and hard, Tim.
So that was a year ago, and I hadn't heard from them in about a year. I assumed that they had dropped the case after I published that hidden camera video showing what they had said to me behind closed doors, but I guess not. They were just moving at the speed of government really slow. So, you know, this is all illegal, in case you were wondering. The Elections Act itself says that books and the promotion of books, so ads, billboards, whatever, they're exempt from this creepy censorship. Books don't count as election advertising. Here's Section 2 of the Elections Act. Election advertising does not include the distribution of a book or the promotion of the sale of a book for no less than its commercial value if the book was planned to be made available to the public regardless of whether there was to be an election. So my book meets all those tests, and the promotion of it is exempt under the law. And of course, Section 2 of the Charter of Rights guarantees my freedom of speech in the press too. So this is just Trudeau attacking anyone who embarrasses him, and they're themselves breaking the law. They're violating my rights. I have to tell you, I'm not going to pay the $3,000 in fines. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to pay the $3,000. I do not accept a punishment for writing a book criticizing Justin Trudeau. There is not one factual error in the book. It's not defamatory. I know Trudeau hates it, but grow up, you pampered twit. I'm going to appeal these convictions because obviously it's a political setup and it's a sign of Trudeau's censorship plans to come. Just last week, Trudeau's government told the Globe and Mail they intend to set up an entire new government bureaucracy in charge of censorship, and obviously their first target is Rebel News. They really aren't hiding it anymore. I'm going to appeal these illegal convictions, and I'm going to help other journalists, even though most other journalists these days are fine with censoring conservatives and are fine with cancel culture. I'm going to challenge the constitutionality of this entire law so that no other author will ever be interrogated by police and convicted in a secret trial and fined $3,000 for criticizing a politician of any stripe. That constitutional challenge is going to cost me a lot more than $3,000. There's no way a constitutional challenge against the government will cost less than $100,000, but I'd rather spend $100,000 fighting for freedom than $3,000 paying off a bully like Trudeau. If you can help me, please go to SaveRebelNews.com, read the conviction letters for yourself, And please chip into our legal defense fund. I hope we win. And if we lose, and we'll appeal, and if we lose again, I have to tell you now, I simply will not pay. I just will not pay. The law does give Trudeau the power to seize our assets if I don't pay, to take our computers, or to raid our bank account, or even, I guess, take our books in satisfaction of their fine. Do you doubt Trudeau would actually do that? He'd probably want to take the camera I'm talking in right now. I mean, what would Tony Soprano do to me? Censorship isn't coming. Censorship is already here. We at Rebel News are the canary in the coal mine. If we don't fight back now, you could be next. Please go to SaveRebelNews.com to read the convictions and to help us crowdfund our legal appeal and constitutional challenge. Thank you. I've been convicted and fined $3,000 for comparing Trudeau to Tony Soprano, which is a bit of a Soprano move, don't you think? I'm going to fight it in court. If you can help me, please go to SaveRebelNews.com.